Hello and welcome to the King Street Cinema podcast. My name's Andy Martin. I do lots of podcasts and in my spare time I'm a pub landlord. Joined as ever by James from King Street Cinema. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good, yes.
Yes.
Lovely.
It's been a month. It's gone quick.
It's been a month. Yeah, we're April now.
We are.
We're getting on with the year, aren't we? Into spring and that.
Getting there. Right? I've already got 10 films for my top 10 films of the year.
That's crazy.
So hopefully I'll get to add to it and it'll carry on being a good year.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it will be, yeah.
Yeah, so we've got several things to talk about. What's coming up at the cinema this month?
Yeah. Okay, so shall we start with the Picnic in Hanging Rock, as it's a part of the 50 years of... it's a part of our 50 years of existing as a cinema, and Picnic Hanging Rock being another film that is 50 years old this year.
Yes.
And it's a film that I like very much. In fact, has been said by myself as being in certainly top 50 films of all time. Certainly, I think possibly my favourite Australian film.
Okay.
Though I probably have a couple of other contenders up there as well.
Better than Mad Max 2. That's my favourite.
Oh, I mean, that's a good one.
Totally.
That's definitely a good one.
Yeah.
As well. So Picnic Hanging Rock is a mystery. Yeah. I'm going to say it's certainly a mystery. It's a kind of a period piece as well, set in 1900. So you've got that going for it as well. So if you like costumes and that, it's very nice.
Yeah. Now this is one that I've never seen.
Right.
And it got her some sort of fancy 4K release a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think was it Second Sight?
Something like that. Yeah. No, tempted, but then
this is BFI who've re-released this for the cinema.
Yeah, because it's 50th anniversary.
50th anniversary, like I said.
So I haven't gone out of my way to watch it because I want to see it on the big screen because you're showing it. It's two shows, and one of which I can actually make.
Yeah, so Friday the 11th, at 7:30, and on Thursday the 17th, which is 2:30. Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's based on it's an adaptation of a novel, which was written in the 60s, I think, which I haven't read. Sadly, I've always wanted to, but I haven't read that one. But a lot of people have often felt that it's based on a true story, because it's kind of set up in that way that it might be based on a real event, but it's not. Okay. It is completely fictional. So, as I say, I think a private girls' school in area of Victoria. Yeah. Australia, obviously, near the rock itself. So Hang Rock is a real location, real place. Which is basically like a big lump of rocks in the desert, really. In a weird, funny kind of, very mysterious. Got a lot of mystery and mythology behind it. Obviously, dating back thousands of years because it's an important geographical place for Aboriginal people of Australia. But so girls go to the rock as a kind of a day out, and it's on Valentine's Day. And ultimately what happens is that three or four of them go missing. Ooh. Absolutely just disappear. Yeah. No one knows, there's no trace, no sign of them or anything. And people trying to find them ultimately. And that's really what the story is about. It's about the mystery of what happens to these girls. Yeah. And everything that surrounds that, the aftermath of that. And it's a wonderful film, very beautifully paced. I love the feel, the flow of it. It's got this kind of dreamlike, ethereal quality to it. Music's wonderful. The acting's great, solid stuff, solid color. Everything about it is like solid. For me, just watching it, it's like nothing about it. You go, oh, that's a bit annoying, a bit irritating, like any of the actors or, the editing or anything like that, maybe a little off-putting. To me, it's just beautiful. And especially if you like 70s cinema, like it is very of that time, of that period. Yeah. I mean, I'd certainly recommend it to anybody. If you haven't seen it, of course, but even if you have seen it, it'd be great to people to see it again. I know there are some people that have, seen it a few times who are definitely still coming to see it.
That's good. Yeah.
So
it's just with Australian cinema, I can't really think of any other sort of 70s ones. There's a lot of stuff I know from the 90s and 80s.
Well,
it probably is.
Another one of my favourite ones of Australian films is a film called Wake in Fright, starring Donald Pleasence, which I absolutely love. A very different film to this, but still has that kind of that Australian outback quality to it. That kind of like kind of a mysterious place. It's sort of place that perhaps people shouldn't be. But Wake in Fright is all about drinking. Yeah. So have you seen it? Have you seen it? No.
Was that 70s?
Yeah, 1971, I think.
Yeah, Donald Pleasance allegedly liked to drink as well. So,
Right. Yeah, it's quite a crazy movie. It's quite. I think some people kind of refer to it as a horror movie in a way, even though it's not like in the strict sense of a horror movie. But it's got that terrifying feeling, panicky, makes you feel very on edge. Kind of movie.
I've seen a lot of horror fans like Picnic at Hanging Rock as well.
Right. Well, again,
and I suppose that's the people go missing.
I would like to say though that there's a new trailer that's come out for this, for this release. And as much as I have enjoyed this trailer because I think it gets you really like, oh, this looks good. It's selling you the film in a way that the film isn't. Right? Yeah. It's kind of making it feel a lot more, though it has those moments in it. The trailer is feeling a lot more like it's an urgent film. Like it's more of a fast pace. Like there's more of a punch to it. Where most of the time it is very calm. It's a very calm, very, I can't really say of a film that I can think of off the top of my head, certainly, that's similar to it, really. In its sort of, in what it's trying to get at. It's very unusual in that. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I like it so much, because I can't really pin it down to like other movies that are like it.
Yeah, it's just unique.
Yeah, it's certainly, yeah. Yeah, I don't really know what else, because I certainly don't want to talk too much about what happens with it, because I want people to, see it.
Did the director or anything go on to do?
Oh, of course, we've got to talk about Peter. Yes, Peter Weir is
one of the
most famous Australian filmmakers, because he's gone to Hollywood and made some very successful films in Hollywood. So yeah, Truman Show and was it Dead Poets Society and. Oh, what are those? Those are a film called Phyllis, I remember. I don't think did too well, but that was pretty good. Gallipoli as well, but that's still when he's still working in Australia, I suppose.
Yeah.
With Mel Gibson. But yeah, he's worked with many, huge names. So.
Yeah, I mean, part of my growing up, I remember Dead Poets Society being a very big movie.
Yeah.
And then, but I was a bit too young for it when it came out, even though it's PG. I think it's 12 now. Truman Show was really the first time we saw a serious Jim Carrey, which and he also done Witness, which
with House of Ford, the Amish, that was a bit of an odd one, wasn't it? Quite enjoyed that.
Big movie though,
huge movie. Val Kilmer, I think, was it Val Kilmer? Oh no, Viggo Mortensen, one of them. Early role for. I can't remember if it was Val Kilmer or Viggo. I think it's Viggo Mortensen.
And on the lighter side, he done Green Card as well.
I've never seen Green Card.
I have late night TV, but that was another one, that early 90s.
Yeah. That
was everywhere. I remember it getting the cinema release, and then you see the posters in the video shops when it came out.
They really sold it.
And Jeff Bridges in Fearless.
Yeah, I mentioned. I mentioned Fearless. I don't know if you've seen Fearless. That's okay. That's an interesting film. But his earlier ones, like before this one, he did a movie. I think it's his first feature called "The Cars That Ate Paris," which is a horror film, a horror comedy, which I have seen once, and it was great, absolutely wonderful. And here's a little thing for you from that film, because we are both Bill and Ted fans.
Yeah,
there's someone who's in Bill and Ted who's in that. The guy who plays Napoleon in Bill and Ted is one of the main cast in "The Cars That Ate Paris." I can't remember his name. Yeah. But was he a comedian? Well, he's very funny.
Yeah,
isn't he? So maybe,
I still think that they done the Joaquin Phoenix Napoleon film last year. Mm-hmm. They should have just got that guy to do it, and it would have been an amazing film. It was all right. Anyway.
I didn't see it. Do you know what? We showed Napoleon. I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it.
That was. Ridley Scott, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was one of his better newer films. I'd say.
There we go.
Not a masterpiece, but I still enjoyed it.
I remember a lot of people having a bit of one of them historical inaccuracy things where a lot of people moan about how it wasn't really, that's not historically accurate.
Yeah, unlike Bill and Ted.
Which is obviously exactly how it happened.
Yeah. So going back to Picnic at Hanging Rock.
Yeah.
One thing I always do this with any Australian film, even to this day, you have to find an actor in it who was in either Neighbours or Home and Away.
Oh.
And Mrs. Mangle from Neighbours.
Yes, that's right.
That's the one I know. Yeah. When I look through the cast, that's Mrs. Mangle. Yeah. But there's probably more.
Yeah, there probably are. I'm really bad with the names and things. There's a guy in it who plays a young lad, a young local boy.
Yeah.
When I say boy, he's probably about 20 or something in the film. I can't remember his name, but I've seen him in a lot of films, like of Australian stuff since. So yeah, he very well may have been in Neighbours at some point.
Yeah, it's just a little game I like to do.
It's a good game. Yeah, I think. Do you know what film? Do you know what film I think he's in? A series of films, in fact. I think it's Wolf Creek.
Oh God!
He plays the villain in that. But he's a younger lad, obviously in Picnic at Hanging Rock.
Yeah, that's a medicine film.
Yes, and he's really good at Picnic at Hanging Rock. Well, like I say, I think everyone's great in it. Everyone plays their roles perfectly. For me, anyway, I think it's a really lovely film. Like I say, it's very 70s.
Yeah.
And so if you're really into that, then, that kind of, the pacing, you know how films were in the 70s. They had more of a slower build, even if they were, and often they weren't very long either. So, which is quite nice, they sort of.
Yeah, you don't want an overly long.
No, I think it's about an hour. I think it's about an hour 40, if I remember correctly, from there. Yeah. Hour 50, maybe.
It is an hour 55, which is good.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah. The actor you're thinking of is John Jarratt, and he's in Wolf Creek, yes, and Boar, and loads of stuff.
Right.
And, what a guy.
So there you go. So
yeah.
If you like those movies, then
So there's 2 screenings of this.
There are. I think I mentioned. Friday the 11th at 7:30 and Thursday the 17th at 2:30.
Is it now a 12 certificate?
It is a 12A. I've always known it as a PG, but yes.
Oh really?
I
always had it in my head it was a 15.
No. And I'm guessing it's getting a 12A because of there are a couple of scenes later on, and I suppose the overall feel and mood to the film as well is a bit traumatic at moments. But I can think of one scene later on which is, I guess, from today's sensibilities, you can see why maybe they give it a 12A.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. I would say there's only nothing rude or anything like that. It's more just visual kind of thing.
And also in a cinema, a 12A is the same as a PG.
Really. Ultimately, it's just making sure that you're, that little kids aren't going into something without some parental consent kind of thing.
And also, it does sound quite an adult film anyway.
I would say so. I would say it's more for a mature audience in the sense of pacing and its themes. Something that would interest someone a little older than 12-year-old, I'd say. Yeah. But maybe some 12-year-olds might be interested in it. Maybe.
Yeah. Be a big fan of Neighbours.
You never know. Or just Australia in general. I mean, again, that's another thing. Just the sort of the landscape. That in itself is with loads of Australian films that are based on this thing where not monuments but natural like a rock or something or the desert or whatever, it becomes a character.
Of course.
That's certainly a big part, obviously.
I'm really looking forward to this one. You announced it a couple of months ago, and I was like, I've actually, because of this podcast, but I know that you're a fan, I've actually been holding back watching it before because I wanted to for a while. But it is one that you don't see. There was this special edition release, which probably you can't get anymore because it's like that. But it's not one that pops up on streaming a lot. I don't remember it being on TV too much. The name's familiar, so I think it would have, 10, 20 years ago, been on like BBC Two late night or something. Yeah,
it's either a BBC Two thing or a Channel 4 thing.
Yeah,
certainly. It's more of like, you could say, arty-ish. I wouldn't say it is. It's more like, it is more period costumey kind of thing, but the story in of itself, obviously this mystery of what happens to the girls, and it has obviously so perhaps a supernatural quality to it. Some people have also said extraterrestrial, maybe even like they say. So
this is where the horror thing comes in from.
But there is, I will, not spoiling it in any kind of way. It remains a mystery.
Yeah.
It is never at any point something that is you are explained what's happened.
Yeah.
So
cool.
That's interesting. That I think is really good.
Yeah.
I believe though there was in the novel the writer created a final another chapter after the fact. And which tells you what happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which I think is a bit rubbish. But
you
don't want that, do you? You don't want it.
If this was made now and had a studio back, they'd probably make them resolve it.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Yeah, but we don't want that.
No, you don't want that.
No. Okay, so should we talk about the Murder, She Wrote next?
Yeah.
That's the day before this, isn't it?
Yes, on the 10th Thursday 10.
Yes, there's a Murder, She Wrote Solve-Along.
Yeah.
Which is the second time you've had it?
Second time.
I went last year and it was really fun. Basically, there's a fella and he's well into
he's a super fan.
And you watch an episode or go through an episode of Murder, She Wrote with him, and he talks through it, stops it, pauses it, does it. It's very funny as well, but not taking the mick out of it really. The guy loves it, and it wasn't until I went that I remember how much like sort of Sunday afternoons as a kid I enjoyed it. I like all that sort of Murder, She Wrote, Columbo, those sort of shows.
Yeah.
And so you go along and the audience solves it with him. Very fun night. Lots of little side things he does, and very, very charismatic guy doing it. And I had a great time. I would say as well, I did look, it's selling very well.
Yeah.
So get your tickets while you can. It's a unique night. The unique's the word of the...
absolutely. I would agree. It's interesting. We've got a bit of an Australian theme partially this month, because this guy is an Australian, living, I think, over here for a while, I think, but certainly an Australian.
Yeah.
So Picnic Hang Rock to Murder, She Wrote. I think it's Tim. I remember him being called Tim. Benzie, I think. He's great. He's just he's what you need for this kind of a thing. You need a good host.
Yeah.
You need the person.
Oh, it wouldn't work.
But if he's like lovely. He's just really nice kind of guy who you clearly can tell loves loves the show and loves everything about it. Yeah. Loves all the ins and outs and all the history of it, the unknown things, the stuff that, no one knows about. He's got a little bit of information on, which he likes to sprinkle out here and there. Yeah. And because it's going to be obviously a different episode to was last time that we're doing, there'll be other stuff.
Oh, yeah. It'd be completely different to that. But what he does, because I looked into it, is when he tours it, he does several different episodes, so that if you want to go to a different date, another venue or whatever, you can. Yeah. Now on the website, it will tell you what episode he's going to do, so it don't clash. You don't.
Absolutely, and I'm sure on our website, I don't know what the episode is. Yeah. But I do know. I'm 99% sure that my boss Stan picked the episode. He wanted this specific episode. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. I could be wrong, but I'm almost certain that's true. So pretty sure I remember him mentioning that to me a while
he's picked one of his favourites.
Something that I suppose in some kind of way has a connection with probably cinema and stuff like that. Just something that
might have a massive guest star or something.
So I'm pretty sure that's the thing.
Yeah. So Mrs. Mangle from Neighbours.
Maybe.
But no, that's one. Get your tickets now. I had a look, and it's selling well. So hopefully that will be a sellout or
close to. I mean, it was last time. It was close.
It was. It was packed, and it's the sort of thing that works a lot better with a packed, enthusiastic audience. And actually, I don't really ever have a drink when I go to the cinema, but it was the first time I had a beer at your cinema. Yeah. Was for that.
Excellent.
And now you've got the bar, which
will be open for that evening, of course. Yeah. So
since we last recorded, you had the open night for that.
Yeah.
So saw that in the paper and that, or on the paper's website. That was nice to see.
Yeah.
I've got to get along there and help support the bar.
Whatever you can.
Yeah.
Whenever you can.
Yeah, and we'll definitely.
Well, you've got your own bar to run, so can't be.
Yeah.
You don't want to be hanging out too many bars.
I'll get a reputation. That'll be bad. So what else have we got? What are we going to talk about?
Okay. Well, so continuing with the Australian version, the first movie coming for this month, which is playing from Friday the 4th and Saturday the 5th. Is a Memoir of a Snail, which is a beautiful animated movie, which I've already seen. So one of the rare times where it's a new movie that we're showing that I've seen by a guy called Adam Elliott, who did another wonderful animated movie called Mary and Max, which I can't remember, maybe 15 years ago or so that came out. Absolutely wonderful. Love that film to pieces. But this is quite similar. I'm going to say funny but melancholic. You know, it's very Australian humour, if you understand what that means.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people do. It's about a young girl just going through, trying to find her way in the world, basically. A lovely sort of coming of age type movie, I'd say. Yeah. But with this wonderful animation, it's stop motion. Kind of, I can't remember exactly if it's clay. Nowadays, it's kind of hard to tell what's real and what's not. If it's like, but I can't believe it is, because I think the films take ages to make. Like I say, he hasn't made a feature film in like 15 years or something. Yeah. So, and I think it's because they do take a while, and I think he works quite independently as well. So they take a while to get made. But just wonderful. If you love animation, you can't not go and see this movie.
Yeah, this was Oscar nominated as well.
Absolutely, yeah. He was I think he's won an Oscar for a short that he made a few years back. I think, well, maybe plus 20 years at this point, in fact. And I think his other feature, Mary and Max, was also nominated. So, you know, he's got experience in history of making wonderful pieces of animation. And like I say, they're very funny. In that kind of very human, sad kind of way, if you know what I mean.
But this is a more adult film, isn't it?
There's 15. So yeah, this is, but not like super adult, if you know what I mean. It's not like, you know, lots of sex and heavy swearing and stuff like that.
Fritz the cat.
No, it's not Fritz the cat.
Thank God.
It's like I say, much more human. Beautiful, you know, I think. I can't recommend it enough, really.
When's this one showing?
So very soon is the 4th and the 5th. So on the 4th at 7:30 and the 5th 2:30 and 5 o'clock. So that's Friday and a Saturday.
Should we talk about the other animated?
Flow.
This one won the Oscar.
Yeah.
And a lot of buzz about this film. This is one I've seen, actually. And basically, fairly simple premise. A cat, there's a flood, and the cat has been washed away from its home, and it's about its journey and who it meets along the way. Now, this is a rare one nowadays for an animal-based movie where you don't hear them talk or their thoughts.
Yeah.
And the animals really... What I loved about this film was the animals really act like animals.
Yeah.
Some of it's obviously exaggerated for the point of the plot, but the movement and the encounters, there's lots of different animals in it, the cat encounters, but there's a Labrador who acts really Labrador-like. But they exaggerate it for the humour. The Labrador really loves the cat. The cat don't care because it's a cat. The things like that. You've seen this in animals. You've seen it.
Yeah.
And it's a Latvian film. The director, producer, writer done a film a few years ago called Away, which I haven't seen. This is sort of that was a more low key. Well, this one because of the praise really has gone on to...
I remember we had a film a couple of years ago that was that didn't have any dialogue as well. Yeah. And I'm not sure if that was the movie or not. You know?
It could have been. It's just that it just didn't get the reviews or like this. But there's one reason this has been taken notice of is it was all done on sort of free software.
Right.
So he done it. Well, they done it, with stuff that we could all use.
Sure.
But it must have taken forever, And the film really, it's a beautiful film. It looks great. It's got a lot of heart. The closest thing, really, I suppose, is some of the Studio Ghibli stuff. It's a bit like that, but not. Fans of that will love it.
Yeah.
I know 2 or 3 people who've seen it who. Loved it as well. Thoroughly deserved to win the Oscar. Not that matters. People should go see things anyway. But it's and I think kids will love it as well. Just as a visual treat and the humour, and kids like animals, don't they?
They do. They love them.
There's a few surreally moments in it which I liked because it takes you away for a bit from just this journey.
Yeah.
Also reminded me a bit of I think I mentioned this to you before. When I was a kid, I went to see a film called Benji the Hunted.
Yes.
Which was just animals.
Yeah.
Mainly, there's a bit this sandwich between, I think, nude footage of the animals.
Is that a Disney film, I think?
It is now. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it was then, because Disney bought a lot of stuff up, didn't they? But that was, I saw that at the cinema as a kid, and remember at first being like, why is there no talking? Mm-hmm. And then once I got into it.
There's no talking because they're animals.
They're animals, yeah. Believe it or not all animals can talk. Yeah. But yeah, this is well worth seeing, and the praise is justified.
Yeah. Well, right. So that one I think is on 13th. So Sunday 13th, 6:00, and Thursday 17th at 7:30. And it is a Universal U film, so anyone can come and see it.
Yeah.
And so you obviously would recommend that.
Yeah, very much so. And it's another one for the big screen because it's about the visuals.
Yeah.
And the animation style is different to what a lot of, especially youngsters, will be used to. But give them a few minutes and they'll be like, wow.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the trailer. Yeah. And I know what you're saying about the visually, like it's quite different. You know, there's like, not movies don't generally look like this, like the animation. But everyone I've spoken to who seen the trailer was like, thought they looked great. Yeah,
I mean, the first time I even heard of it was months ago. You showed the trailer for something. So what did I add before something? Of course, you showed trailers used to be on at the end, in the old days. But anyway, and I was like, well, that looks different. That looks cool. So seeked it out, so to speak. Went to, I don't even know. I saw it when I was out and about somewhere, and thoroughly recommend. Yeah. Bring the kids, bring the grandparents.
Bring the grandparents. Yeah. Bring them all the generations.
Yeah. And leave your cat at home though. Wouldn't enjoy it. It did inspire me to track down a film called Eye of the Cat, just because after seeing this, which is a 60s horror film from the writer of Psycho. Yeah. About a bloke who wants to steal from his aunt.
Right.
But he's scared of cats and she's got loads of cats.
Oh, well done her.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't know. So,
genius. You say she didn't.
So, yeah, well, Eye of the Cat was my second favourite cat film, whereas Flow would be my first. So there we go.
So you're sort of a cat binge then.
Yeah. I've been watching old episodes of Serena the Teenage Witch soon.
No.
I like that cat in Hocus Pocus. That's good though. That talks.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not as many cat films as dog films.
No, it's true. I mean, as much as cats are loved by billions, probably at this point, human beings. Yeah. The dogs certainly, I believe, probably favoured.
Yeah.
So that's why you get more. And I suppose they have a little bit more character to them, which cinematically probably works better.
And does the dog in this film steal the show? I'll let you make up your mind.
And of course, dogs are probably easier to train, perhaps.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to, I don't know for certain. But
if this film was live action, they would still be making it. And when you see interviews with the director, he'd have all bandages over him.
Oh, there you go. Indeed.
So yeah, go and see Flow. I thoroughly recommend it.
Yes.
And especially with Easter coming up, there's loads of kids' films out there coming out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of studios churn them out. And for another review, a radio show thing I do, I'll literally go and see anything if I get time. And the films I come away from not enjoying are these cheap churned out animation. Yeah. And this is, it's low budget, but it's not. Doesn't look cheap. The heart has gone into this film. It wasn't made as a money maker. It was made as a piece of art and also entertainment for the whole family. So
that's the biggest endorsement you could.
This will be on a lot of people's top 10 for the end.
Here we go. Yeah. I mean, clearly with all the awards it's been winning and stuff. Makes sense.
It's been catastrophic.
Catastrophic.
The perfect movie.
Perfect movie. Yeah. That'll do. I was. Before we fall into cat punnery.
Yeah, I can't be doing that.
No.
Should we meow on?
Yes.
That didn't work, did it?
Who? I wanted to mention, going back to the Australian thing and connections. So Jackie Weaver is in both Picnic at Hang Rock and Memoir of the Snail. So there you go. It just shows you, though the country is massive, there are not that many actors in it.
Yeah, no, there's not that many people in it.
There you go. That's what it is. So yeah, you'll find connections throughout these movies.
Do you remember on The Simpsons when they went to Australia, where they had to contact the president, and he's just like next door?
Isn't he like he's in a pool or something? It's like Gary. That's good, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's not a knife.
They've
done their beer. And the knifey spoon.
Knifey spoon. Oh, I see you played knifey spoony before.
Yeah.
All right,
another bit of a rant. There's a lot of things going about. Crocodile Dundee. I know that's an American.
Paul Hogan.
Yeah. It's really dated now, and I wouldn't show it to me. It was always a 15.
Yeah.
You
the first one was.
Yeah, first one. You just grew up watching a cut version on TV. Leave it alone. It's still good.
Yeah, it's still great. And the second one, which got a PG, probably not nowadays, probably a 12A at least. It was very violent. I remember. It was very violent. It's a completely different kind of movie, isn't it? It's like action adventure. The second one.
Then they made a third one that no one cared about.
Yeah, which I don't think I saw.
In LA, that was alright.
Yeah, I heard of it, definitely remember hearing it.
Oh, one thing I do remember, because that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
And there's a proper homophobic slur in it for PG.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. But then they're Australian too.
Yeah, it's fine. That's the thing, you just got to look at it like from that point of view. They don't know anything, do they? What? They don't know any better. Oh, no, here we go. We'll get in trouble by the Australians. Carry on.
Okay, the views on this, I always put it in the thing because of you. The views on the podcast are that of the individual and not King Street Cinema. That's remember to put it this time.
Yeah,
but you're only joking.
I'm very much only joking. A big fan of Australia and Australian cinema.
Oh, I do. I like
Paul Hogan. I
like Australian humour.
It's brilliant. It's fantastic.
So yes, I suppose that's sort of an accidental Aussie double bill.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? I mean, again, it's not something that was set up, and this isn't the first kind of time this has happened where we've had connections with movies in the months that we've had them on. Yeah, it just happens like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Have
we got anything else to talk about?
Well, I could just mention a few others. So we've got a film called Cottontail coming out on the 12th and the 14th, which is a Monday, so that's an unusual day for us to be open. But so Monday 14th, 7:30, Saturday 12, 2:30. Looks like a nice little movie. It's a Japanese British combo about a widow and his son, Japanese, going to the Lake District to scatter the ashes of his dead wife. So sort of a sad one.
Yeah.
But it's, I think, billed as comedy drama.
Okay.
So. Or at least or dramedy, or maybe. But I don't know. Maybe I got that wrong. I think we've got a couple of those kind of movies, those sort of comedy dramas for the month. So, yeah.
Four Mothers as well?
And Four Mothers, which is an Irish film, I believe. About a guy looking after his mum and her friends. Definitely, I think, a comedy. I think this one. But Irish, so, not so wacky Hollywood comedy, where more sort of, I don't know, Irish comedy.
Irish,
Funny.
3 showings of that one.
Yeah.
It was over Easter weekend. You've got it on Good Friday, which is the 18th of April, and Easter Sunday. Good Friday is on 7:30, it's 6 o'clock on Easter Sunday.
That's right.
And then the following Thursday, there's a matinee.
That's right, the 24th. So that's a 15.
Yeah.
And the Cottontail, which I mentioned just previous, was 12A.
Yeah. And then Oh My Goodness.
Oh My Goodness, which is a French comedy, I believe, on Saturday, showing on the 19th at 2:30 and the 24th Thursday at 7:30. About some nuns who are trying to save a nursing home, I believe. And they think they can make the money by entering a bicycle race contest, but apparently they're no good at riding bikes. So hilarity ensues.
Yeah, I do like the French humour as well.
Farcical generally. Quite
cool.
Physical, isn't it?
I
think. Historically, anyway. And
you've
War Paint.
Documentary.
One showing on the Sunday 27th, 12A, 3 o'clock. That one. So a documentary about female artists depicting scenes from war.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So that looks really interesting, really cool. Like there's lots of different types of art on display in this movie, in the trailer, which looks really fascinating. If you're interested in both art and war.
Yeah.
Then definitely one for you.
Yeah.
I'd say.
And you've got a screening of is it the West End National Theatre?
Yeah,
live
sure. So
Dr.
our
Strangelove?
encore of Doctor Strangelove, because it was on last month, but
Yeah.
so the encore is on the 6th, Sunday 6th at 6 o'clock. So that's Steve Coogan starring as doing the Peter Sellers role.
Yeah, all the characters.
All the three, I think three.
Who
Who did he play? Doctor Strangelove plays the President of the United States and a captain in the Royal Air Force, I think, if I remember correctly. Haven't seen this production, but I know the film.
I haven't seen the film for 30 years. So
I can't. Maybe 10. No, not 10. I'd say about 6 years ago, roughly. I think last time I saw it. Seen it many times.
This is getting praise. Coogan, I think Coogan's always good. It's,
you can't go wrong.
It's directed by Mando Nucci as well.
Mando Nucci from Knowing Me, Knowing You, and other things.
Yeah, and what's the
more recent Veep and was it Thick of It?
Yeah, and then In the Loop. And he's gone
in
to
the
Hollywood.
Loop, yes, of course. These are all politically charged satire.
Starling.
Beth was more. God, that was a one, wasn't it? Ooh, really enjoyed that, but that was pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. So that's Steve Coogan, who in a few months you'll be showing his Penguin film as well.
Yes, we do. Is it Penguin Lessons? I believe something like that. We have the posters up.
Yeah, the Penguin Lessons. You've got that in May actually.
Made by the person who made Philomena, which is another movie that Coogan starred in.
Yeah, well, it's the writers and it's the director of Full Monty.
Yes, Full Monty. So just classic British comedy stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next
time.
I know,
obviously, but I'm just saying, how's that going to go wrong?
The trailer for that looks great. Steve Coogan and the Penguin sold.
Yeah, well, indeed. And there's one other film which is ending. At the end of the month.
Yeah.
So on the 30th gets its first showing, but then is also shown on the 1st of May. So I'm going to just mention that's La Cocina. I think it's American, so United States, but Mexican as well production, I think. About I'm pretty sure comedy drama.
Yeah.
About the kitchen, the kitchen. The craziness that goes on in a kitchen of a restaurant on this occasion, not necessarily in a home.
Yeah.
But so there have been other programs that have done this recently, I think, as well. So maybe it's a bit of a thematic theme.
Well, wasn't there a film with Stephen Graham about?
Well, which we showed, Boiling Point. Now that was more that was very much, I think, more drama, but than what the trailer of this shows. But yes, very similar kind of thing. The high octane, fast paced, sweary, shouty. Yeah. Got to get the food out there, looking all great and wonderful in 2 seconds, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That attitude, that kind of thing. So looks good. Yeah. Looks fun.
Yeah. So and there seems like a fair bit of comedy this month.
Yeah, I'd say a comedic drama type stuff. Certainly, I think that completely rolls through not everything certainly, but most things. Yeah. In the month, so April looking quite sweet, I think.
Yeah, I'd say there's some different stuff there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'd like to say I think most months that we do are on that line of having a fairly broad types of films.
So it's good. It's being Easter.
Yeah,
there'll be in mainstream cinema a lot of the big budget money makers. So if you want an alternative to that, there's plenty to choose from. So I'll be. There's a few of them on my days off. I'll be getting to.
Yeah, so, none of them to me look uninteresting. They all look really fascinating to me. So please come along and check out all of it if you can. Yeah,
and don't forget to follow the cinema on the social media.
Yes.
Where sometimes you get films added because something comes up. So, and I think it's Dan does the social media. He's very good at it. Whoever does it really well.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, it is Dan.
And so they post trailers.
Not me. I know it's not me.
Is it? You see trailers on there and stuff. I follow her on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're on anything else because I always say.
I believe so, but those are definitely the big ones.
Yeah, and there's which you may be listening to this on. There is the YouTube page as well.
Well, indeed, there is.
So you can follow us on YouTube, Apple, Amazon and Spotify for this podcast.
For this podcast, but yeah, mostly Facebook and Insta
for the cinema.
So, and of course the website.
That's the main one where you book tickets through and everything. Yeah. So get yourselves on the interweb.
Yeah.
And
heard of it?
Yeah. Good stuff, apparently.
Good stuff, apparently.
Yeah. So it will take off. I'll tell you. It's the next big thing.
Yeah.
So thank you all for listening. We'll be back next month. We've already given a bit of an inkling to some of the films we'll be talking about. We'll be back next month to talk about the releases in May.
Yeah.
Have a good Easter, everybody.
Bye.